Goddesses are like the celestial embodiment of feminine power, grace, and wisdom. They are the deities that represent the divine feminine and serve as symbols of beauty, strength, and fertility. Each goddess has her own unique personality, mythology, and realm of influence, which she uses to guide and inspire her followers. In many ways, goddesses are like the shining stars in the night sky, each one radiating her own unique light and energy. They are the beacons that guide us on our journey through life, inspiring us to become our best selves and pursue our dreams with passion and purpose. Just as the stars give us direction and a sense of wonder, the goddesses offer us guidance and inspiration. Goddesses are also like the life-giving force of nature itself, embodying the cycles of birth, growth, and death. They are the guardians of the natural world, watching over the cycles of the seasons, the changing tides of the oceans, and the EBV and flow of life itself. They represent the transformative power of nature, reminding us that even in the midst of chaos and destruction, there is also the potential for rebirth and renewal. Another way to think of goddesses is as the guardians of the human soul, offering us guidance and protection as we navigate the complexities of our inner selves. They represent the aspects of ourselves that are noble, wise, and intuitive, inspiring us to tap into our own inner wisdom and intuition. Just as the goddesses offer us guidance and protection, they also challenge us to grow and evolve, helping us to become more fully actualized versions of ourselves. Goddesses are like the muses of creativity, inspiration, providing the spark that ignites our creative potential and fuels our imagination. They inspire us to think outside of the box and take risks and to embrace the unknown. They are the divine sources of creative inspiration that guide us. Artists, writers, musicians, and other creatives on their journey to self-expression and fulfillment. Goddesses are like the shining stars in the sky, the guardians of nature, the protectors of the human soul, and the muses of creative inspiration. They are the embodiments of feminine power, grace, and wisdom, inspiring us to become our best selves and pursue our dreams with passion and purpose. Whether we look to the goddesses for guidance, protection, or creative inspiration, they are a reminder of the infinite potential that exists within each and every one of us. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I would like to welcome you to the No News, Just Facts podcast. And I'm back in here for episode 79. Let's go. Let's go. We back up in here. I ain't even going to waste too much more of your time. We're going to get into all of the stuff that's going on this podcast. Let's get it going. What I got going on here right now is basically Willie D and Scarface discuss Scarface going to the Grammys and performing at the 50th, anniversary tribute at the Grammys of hip hop, and basically him going solo. So let's do this.
If y'all ain't gonna fuck with Will, I ain't fucking with it. If Willie ain't coming, I'm not coming. If they'd have called me and the roles were reversed, I don't give a fuck what my level of success was as a solo artist. It's the principle. I would not have done it without you. I would not move like that without you. That ain't.
Well, I didn't. In all honesty, I didn't really feel like it was that fucking important. I'm just saying. Listen to what I'm saying. I didn't really feel like it was that important for whoever did the motherfucker. I don't. It's not a big deal to me. It's been times and like. Do you remember the last time you did when you did the dome,
the rodeo?
I didn't do that.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, but you had that choice.
I mean, that's different though. that whole thing is different. I did think that was kind of weird that he wasn't on stage with, Willie D being there. I mean, and even if Willie D wasn't gonna be there, like, it would have been better to have like, some sort of accountability to say, hey, let me call my brother and see if he would want to join. Whether he turned it down or not wouldn't have mattered, because like, hey, it's the thought that counts. There's a principle there. Like, we are a legendary group. We've put out some legendary songs and things of, legendary material, and it would be good to basically mutually just discuss something like, hey, they want me to perform, or they want us to perform at the Grammys. Do you want to go? And if one party says no and another party says yes, it would have been in Scarface's best interest not to show up to that thing, because it's like, him and Willie D, like, they like this. So that really does make Scarface look bad.
Choice.
Yeah, I didn't do it.
You had a choice. It was your choice.
I didn't do it.
It was your choice.
Okay.
You decided that you didn't do it because you didn't want to do it.
But you did it.
You was given a choice.
But you did it.
I did it because I was given a choice. We communicate. Remember? You should have said, you know what? If y'all ain't gonna fuck with Will, I ain't fucking with it. If Willie ain't coming, I'm not coming. From day one, when you found out, I found out, we got on the phone and we communicated. Okay. So we didn't do that with this.
So basically, Scarface tried to use the logic of like, hey, yeah, you did the rodeo and you didn't tell me about you going to the rodeo. You could have, but like at the same time, Willie D was like, we had a discussion. Like, I asked you if you wanted to go, and you was like, nah, I'm not for that. So y'all at least discussed it. So, it just, like I said, it just looks bad on Scarface.
Big moment.
No, that was a big moment.
But
that was
the Grammys.
That was a big moment.
The Grammys is the biggest moment
in
music history.
The Grammys is
that's the biggest moment.
That was a big moment, Willie. And I didn't do that moment
because you didn't want to.
Okay.
Because you didn't want to. But you didn't give me. But I didn't have a choice.
If they didn't call you, what you wanted me to do?
So you wouldn't stand up for your dog? Why they got to call me? I told you to do the fucking show. What you talking about?
I couldn't do it.
You didn't say you couldn't do it. You said you wouldn't do it.
Okay, well,
that's a difference.
Yeah. Okay, wouldn't do it.
That's a difference.
But you did it.
Come on, bro. You really
try the same thing.
That's that is in no way the same thing. That's not the same thing. Him telling you that the rodeo is asking us to perform versus you not telling Willie D that you're going to go perform at the Grammys is like two different occasions. That doesn't even make any type of sense. And the fact that Scarface is trying to gaslight or justify his decision to go perform at the Grammys is crazy, because it's like the Grammys is way bigger than the rodeo. No offense, no disrespect. I've been raised in Houston for like a long time, since I was a baby, and all the while since I've been here, the rodeo has always been one of the biggest things, one of the biggest destinations, one of the biggest events to go to during the month of February, and I believe in March as well. So versus something like the Grammys, that's like, it's an industry-wide gigantic event. It's like it's like the Super Bowl of music or the WrestleMania of music, one of those, you know. It's a big deal. And Scarface trying to justify that by saying like, oh, there was something that we were supposed to do together, but you didn't, you know, Scarface had a choice not to go to the rodeo.
Bro, come on, man. You know that. You ain't stupid. You know this shit, Brad.
I can't say that it's.
Come on, man. You know that, bro.
It's the same fucking thing.
Come on, man. You know that's not.
If Face ain't going, if Willie ain't going to do it,
you was given a choice from day one when we.
If Face say he ain't going, I ain't going to do it.
But you know what you could have done if you felt some kind of way about me doing it because you didn't want to do it. You know what you could have done? You could have voiced your opinion and say, Will, I don't think you should fuck with it in the name of the brand. I don't think you should do it. So I'm saying, if we're going to be on the same page, we ghetto boys. If it's ghetto boys, it's ghetto boys. You know, like, yeah, you got your own shit going in your own right. In your own right. You did a great job for yourself as a solo artist. You did a great job but listen to what I'm saying. But as I'm saying, like, you did your shit, I did my shit. You know what I'm saying? Your name is strong in for what you do. My shit is strong for what I do. You know what I'm saying? Neither of us need each other, but when we come together, we're more powerful. We know that. We know the ghetto boys. We know that the ghetto boys brand is more powerful. No, neither one of us, no matter how much success we've attained all these years, neither one of us is bigger than the brand. And the fact
I did not go out on television.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Say he ain't going. I ain't going to do it.
But you know what you could have done if you felt some kind of way about me doing it because you didn't want to do it. You know what you could have done? You could have voiced your opinion and say, Will, I don't think you should fuck with it in the name of the brand. I don't think you should do it.
Yeah, I mean, mutually, you know, on the same instance, while they sitting up here discussing this, I don't even think they should even put this on camera. I mean, this is just something they could have did off camera. You know, this is that whole discussing things that two men can just, you know, discuss face to face or on the phone or something like that. That's like way different than like just trying to go like, you know, it makes it look like y'all like there's like they're trying to fish for content here by doing this. But yeah, I mean, Scarface was kind of wrong for not really like discussing it with Willie because, you know, they're a group at the end of the day. But at the same time, like I said, I said like y'all this shouldn't even been a conversation on camera. That should have been off camera, which maybe they did discuss it off camera and maybe Willie D decided to bring it back up on camera. So maybe that's how we got to this point right here. But I mean, respect to both of them, you know, they're still legends. It's just like that disagreement that, you know, two brothers or two uncles have, you know, you just work it out and push past, you know. I mean, because man, we know how to forgive each other on stuff like that. So basically, I'm going to be doing a review of season 3, episode 11 of Young Rock. So basically, Young Rock is a television show that periodically goes through the life of Dwayne Johnson, aka The Rock. What I love is that this is a television show. He had a choice to do, I'm sure he had a choice to do this or do like a movie biopic, and I'm sure, you know, he took the television route because I'm sure there's too many stories to tell and put together to depict all the things that have gone on in his life up to this point, you know, with, of course, you know, like fictionalizing it in some way to make it be funny, but also add some real life to it as well. So in this episode, basically, you know, they're basically following The Rock's storytelling is basically us letting the audience in on what he had going on in 1999, Of course, around that time, wrestling was smoking popularity at its height during The Rock being there and Stone Cold and Triple H and a whole bunch of other wrestlers. So basically around this time, he's basically getting into acting around this time. If anybody really understands or has been following The Rock didn't just randomly start acting around this period of time. He started acting like way back in like 1999. And one of his first roles was a show called The Net. And let me see if I could I found like a clip somewhere. Try to pull it up real quick so I could have it queued up real quick. Let me see here. Y'all just give me a second. So for the sake of time, I'm just going to put up pictures because I don't want this to be copywritten or get a strike or a claim or whatever the hell it is that YouTube be doing when people try to use clips. So basically, The Rock's first appearance in a film or a television show, I believe this is a television show, which is an offshoot of a movie that's starring Sandra Bullock. And basically in the television show, The Rock is being typecasted as a wrestler, because he's already a wrestler. So Vince McMahon just set it up, and yeah, he got his first gig as a actor. Yeah. So basically, while everybody's watching the episode back, his grandma, his mom, his dad, and his girl, they all sitting there watching it, and they're just kind of like, kind of like giving these kind of looks, asking questions about it, and he doesn't really feel good about the episode. He feels like it's like just lackluster, because of course he's playing something that he's already getting paid for, like as an actual profession, versus him just acting like he's a wrestler in a television series, so that carries us on into his next voyage as an actor. So then after the Net gig, I mean, even though he doesn't like feel as though he did a good job, Vince McMahon tells him, hey, you did a good job, so much so that we got something set up. We got another acting gig set up for you. So it's Star Trek The Next Generation. And of course, once again, he's playing a character that's a wrestler type. So he kind of takes it a little bit more serious, and he actually goes and reads up on it, even though, it's just like a guest starring scene, and, it's not something to be, taking very serious because it's just a guest starring spot. But he went and like read books. He went and read like a book on the whole entire Star Trek show, just so he could like have a good idea of what's going on with it. I thought it was funny that like the hotel room he was in, like the what do you call it? The hotel staff gave him like the live long and prosper, and he was like, oh, that's so nice of you. It's like, no, that's actually something that's within Star Trek. and he didn't even know until later on, and he's like, "Oh my goodness," thought that was funny. So when you start to get to the scenes where like he's actually like trying to, like they're rehearsing the scene of him like being the I can't remember what the name of the character is, but like when they're rehearsing the scene, he was trying to like add input and stuff, and they told him it's not. I believe the director told him, "Oh, it's not that serious. We usually don't allow like our guest stars to like, or our aliens of the week to add input because it's just a one-off appearance. So we're never gonna see you again. So, yeah." And then he's rehearsing with like one of the leads in the show, and their chemistry is cool and everything like that. And she also like commends him for like being serious about just trying to get everything correctly. And he said, and Dwayne, The Rock basically says like, "Hey, I do what I can, anything I'm doing, I'm going to take it as serious as I can." And then once that is done with, we get to a get to a certain point where while I believe he's watching back Star Trek, or no, they're not even watching Star Trek. They're watching what's the name of it? Not Star Trek. They're not watching back the net. They're watching back the Star Trek thing. I don't even actually think they actually showed him on Star Trek, but they were watching it. So after watching, I believe they were watching I believe they were watching Rambo, and basically while they were watching Rambo, his mom basically said like, "Hey, if you're gonna go into acting, just make sure you do it with all of your heart." Something along the lines of that. I'm not entirely sure if it. I'm not. This is just verbatim. Like basically, just give it your all if you're gonna do it. So he gets a call for him. The Rock gets a call to be on That 70s Show, and I do remember back in the day, I actually watched That 70s Show when he was on there. I was actually excited. I was like, "Whoa, the Rock is on That 70s Show," and of course he's playing Rocky Johnson, of course his dad, on that show. Now, before I get to the end of this review, watching that episode of Young Rock really made me get nostalgic for a second, and I just kind of want to talk about UPN. It's a company, it's a channel made by Paramount, and UPN had everybody in a chokehold. I ain't gonna lie. They had all these black television shows, right? They had XFL, they had SmackDown, bro, they had cartoons, they had everything. UPN was like everything. Like there wasn't one specific thing with UPN. UPN on Friday nights, it wasn't even Friday, Thursday nights, man. SmackDown, oh my goodness, made me really feel like nostalgic, like seeing this on Young Rock, bro. Like just to even see that was so dope. Like really made me reminisce about when That 70s Show was on UPN. And then finally he gets a call from Lorne Michaels, and basically Lorne Michaels is telling him like, "Hey, me and Vince McMahon was talking, and we basically want you to come and host SNL." And I don't know. I don't know if I've ever heard of anybody ever having to like negotiate stipulations for Saturday Night Live. But I mean, I got to give respect to The Rock, because bro said like, I've already played the wrestler guy in television shows. If I come to your show, I don't want to be like typecasted as a wrestler. I mean, and then, you know, Lorne Michaels was like, yeah, we could talk about that. And he got to host SNL. Vince McMahon was there, Big Show, and Triple H. And this is at the height of WWF. It's the fact that they were able to use WWF on Young Rock. Like, I wonder how they were able to like get away with that. But that's the end of the episode. And well, before that, after that, they go back to the fictional story with him being like helping. I don't even care for like the fictional part, but it's just the part where like, you know, it kind of like follows his actual life that I care about. I don't really care about the fictionalized part where he was running for president or anything like that. That's my review of it. Honestly, this episode was cool because like it really like took me back to when I was really like heavily into wrestling. And yeah, it took me back, made me go through some nostalgic moments with the wrestling, and then even going as far as thinking about UPN and how UPN was like big as hell, basically. So there's allegedly like some footage going around of Gunna allegedly at the mall, which happens to be just some guys who put together this prank and made it seem like Gunna was at the mall. It's kind of sort of how like I wish I could find the clip. Just give me 1 second. Hold on. It reminds me of this one right here.
Is this really even Future?
Exactly. He trolled everybody. Now, what we have going on with this one right here is basically, like I said, Gunna. They have a fake a person who is acting like Gunna going through the mall. So. They sitting up there calling him they sitting up there calling, well, I think that was probably to just draw attention that like, oh yeah, this is Gunna. That's so funny. And everybody in the mall actually believed that. Like, come on now. Why would somebody like Gunna, who just went through all that stuff he went through and is going through whatever he's going through now, in the public's perception of him, why would he just be out like that? I don't understand that. I mean, for the most part, like, I'm pretty sure everybody in the mall who has no idea who Gunna is probably scared as hell because it's just some random folks just screaming. Like, I don't know, man.
Let's Gunna! Let's Gunna, bro! Yo, gangster. Yo, Gunna. That boy's ugly as shit, boy. Y'all bring your picture out. Hey, bring your picture, bro, please. Bring it, please. Please, please. Yo, please, bring your picture, please. Yo, please, one picture, please. Bring your picture, bro, please, one, bro. Yo, free your thug, like that nigga.
Hey, free thug, bro, free sex. That boy Gunner. I'm glad, boy, Gunner. Yo, come on, Gunner. Why you a stick, nigga? That's why you come on, bro.
Come on, please, man.
For the most part, it's like pretty much like nobody cares. Nobody really cares that much. I think I don't know. This is probably one of those ones where it's like it was really kind of failed. It wasn't really a good experiment, whatever they were trying to do. And then after all of that, I don't even know if it's at the end of the video. Are the rest of the people in this video, like, are they part of this prank, or is it just like random, like, folks just like running up and calling this person who's acting like a snitch?
Yo, Gunner.
Yeah, that's the end of that. And then of course Gunna was like laughing at it. So like, honestly, yeah, just, I don't know, man. Like, I think pranks are getting out of control nowadays. People will believe anything they see on the internet, and the blogs will turn something like this into a story and not fully look into it like they're supposed to. Kind of sort of like how people are still holding on to this lie about TD Jakes owning Shade Room, which I think is, I'm not going to say it's not I'm not going to say it's not a possibility to happen, but I mean, come on. Why would they want to own that? Like, why would they want to own that? They're TD Jakes is a whole pastor. I'm not saying it's not impossible for pastors to do things that are worldly, but I mean, come on now. A person just made up this lie because they don't like somebody, and now everybody's running with it. Same thing with this. A person pulls a prank pretending to be Gunna, and then everybody runs with it. Don't even look into the fact that it might be a prank video. Right? People of the world, man, we're doomed. This new generation got us doomed, man. So I want to talk about the first time I actually have like three stories about basically how I got into Christian rap music. I still every now and then listen to, well, it's been a while since I listened to actual like regular rap music. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, sometimes I still kind of do, but like for the most part, I be listening to CHH. Just because I can relate to it more than I would ever relate to, rap music has like totally changed. Like it's not as lyrical. You have to go look for like lyrical music. So there's that. And then, most of today's rap music is just like heavily fixated on like the same stuff. Like it's all a copy and paste rubric. So all a copy and paste method. There's no difference. Everybody's not reinventing the wheel or anything like that. So I just have like three stories for you. So my first time listening to Christian hip hop was back, God, I would want to say this is probably 2003, 2004. At this time, my mother was into God and we went to church, but that was kind of it for me. I didn't read the Bible. I barely prayed like that. I was, and I was, it's that type of thing where it's like you don't necessarily do anything bad, but it's like, you just kind of regular, basically. I would kind of even go as far as saying, like, if I look back on my childhood, I didn't want to go to the church sometimes. I was kind of one of those kids who would like get mad when I had to go to church sometimes. And, my mom would have to like force me out of bed and shout and scream like, wake up, we're going to church. So, my first encounter with CHH was I lived in the A-Leaf area. This is the A-Leaf area in Houston, Texas, of course. That area is primarily has a lot of different, like, it's a melting pot, let's just say that. So I lived in these apartments, ghetto apartments. And I had all types of friends in these apartments that I would go, hang out with, go play with. We would go play basketball, football, video games, all of that. And one of my friends happened, his family was Christian, and, they read the Bible, and I'm sure it was just kind of like me, mom would take them to church and everything like that. So his mom was like, she worked for the apartment complex. She was like I don't know what they call it. They call it something is it a property manager or something like that? Somebody can correct me on that if I'm wrong. But yeah, she was either a manager or an assistant or something like that for the apartment complex. And she was in charge of like putting together a block party for the apartment complex. And at this block party, there was this rapper that she got to come, who was in turn a pastor or a minister, one of the two. And he happened to be a rapper too. And that was my first introduction to Christian hip hop. And he sounded like if Ludacris got saved and decided he wanted to be a rapper. It's the craziest thing. Like, he sounded good. That was my first encounter with it. And I didn't think light of it. I actually thought it was good. Contrary to some people's ideology of CHH, it's refreshing to hear something outside of what you're used to hearing in the other world of what So I didn't hate on it. I actually liked it. But like I said, he sounded like Ludacris if he got saved. And he had, he was such a cool dude. He gave us all CDs, and I actually listened to that CD. I really wish I could find that CD, but we moved so much and everything like that. So that was my first instance with it, but it didn't stop me from like continually listening to what I'm used to, your Snoop Dogg's, your Eminems. That's what I grew up on. Snoop Dogg, Eminem, 50 Cent, Dr. Dre, of course. I'm not really like the biggest Jay-Z fan or anything like that, but he's also part of my but he's not like number one on my list or anything like that. But those are the people like I was accustomed to listen to, and that's my childhood. No Limit Records, Cash Money Records. That's all I heard when I was younger. Fast forward to middle school. It's probably like maybe 6th grade, 7th grade. The second time I had an encounter where I heard CHH music. By the way, in that first one, I did say I got a CD, right? Okay, this is the second one. So I went to this school in Dallas. I lived in Louisville, Texas. It was a middle school, and I can't remember the name of the middle school or anything like that. DeWitt, I believe. I'm not entirely sure, but the name of the middle school starts with a D. Louisville, it's like a small town. Small town. And so the middle school is right next to this church. Let me tell you how amazing God is, and how God can just be like placing things in your life. So the church is right next to the middle school. So the church and the middle school have like this thing where they allow the children from the middle school to go over to the church, and they get to hang out there. They do some preaching in there. Of course, a lot of the kids don't listen to it, because not everybody there is a subscriber to God, or it's just the fact that it's adolescence. They're not really gonna properly listen to it. And also, like, after that, they would have like prizes. They would like give out prizes. They had the PS2 in there. They had a lot of different things going on in that church. So, I guess it was like a way to like take your mind off of the fact that, hey, I got to go take a test when I go back to school, when I go back over to the school, or whatever you have going on. They really tried to, I guess, distract you from the fact that, whatever it is you have going on at school, or whatever it is you have going on at home. So, I won a prize one time, and the prize was, if y'all can see this picture right here, it says, it's the CD right over here that says Minister, the Ghetto Shepherd. It was this CD that I got back then, and I took it home and listened to it. I got this CD, and I got like this Christian rock CD. I didn't listen to the Christian rock CD for whatever reason. And I listened to the Christian rap CD, and the first thing I heard on the first track is like this intro of this minister guy talking about how the rap music that I listened to, he used to listen to, and it like had all these like negative effects on him, and it had taken his soul, and also like he had said something about like how seeing Jay-Z made him like paranoid or something like that. It like really like took a toll on him, and so he had ultimately got saved, and he just stopped listening to all of that. And it was a really cool, like when you go listen to it, it's a really cool testimony. It's it might sound outlandish. Excuse me, it might sound outlandish, but hey, bro can really rap, right? I listened to that CD as much as I could, but I didn't stop listening to what I knew, Didn't stop listening to what I knew. This is around the time when 106 in Park was still around. I would always watch 106 in Park. I would always watch Rap City. Sometimes I wish those programs, that was back when BET was BET, And when I wasn't watching that on BET, I I was watching Street Flavor. I was watching DMX TV. That's this TV show for this like club back in Dallas or whatever that they used to show. So I mean, there was a lot of things that I was watching, you know, just a real curiosity about this art form of hip hop. So the third time I had an encounter with CHH was back, man, this is like my freshman year, maybe. Yeah, it's my freshman year of high school. And I have an English teacher, and the English teacher would let us have like free time. And so she said we could listen to music, right? But it can't be like any like music with any cussing. I know, right? It can't be any music with any cussing. Now, everybody in the class almost all of them listen to music with cussing in it. So it's like, dang, this is hard. What do I do? So what do? I go on Google and I look up. Did I look up Christian rap? I don't know if I looked up Christian rap or I just looked up music with no cussing. And I was seeing like gospel rap. And I'm like, gospel rap? What is that? So there was like this mixtape site full of just Christian rap music. And lo and behold, guess whose music I seen on there that I thought, oh, it looks interesting. Let me just, it was Lecrae. So Lecrae's Real Talk album is on this website, right? I'd never heard of this Lecrae guy before ever in my life. And I don't know, I just clicked on it and I just started listening to the music. It was his album that I saw there, and there was this dude named Sho Baraka. I saw both their albums on there, and I just started listening to the music. So once you picked out whatever music you was gonna listen to, she came around and made sure you weren't listening to anything that was like I said, don't have cuss words in it. So she came around and I played whatever I was playing on some headphones, and it was on a laptop. And so when she came around and she actually wanted to hear what I was listening to. So I gave it to her, and she heard what I was listening to, and it didn't have any cuss words in it. So she's like, yeah, go ahead, listen to that. And then I sat there and I listened to it, and I liked it. I liked it so much that from that point on, I kept on listening to his music. I till this day still listen to Lecrae. As crazy as that's gonna sound, I've been listening to Lecrae since about 2000, and it's either 2008 or 2009, one of the two. I've been listening to his music on and off again since 2009, as crazy as that's gonna sound. So I in a span of some years have really made space in my listening for more CHH, because now it's just evolved from it being just people like Lecrae and Trip Lee and Tadashi and just all of Reach Records. And then I never really I never really was that big on cross movement that much. What else? I kind of dabbled with trying to listen to KJ5 too, but ultimately I wasn't really a big fan of his music like that. So I was really listening to Reach Records more so. And then the time came when, Andy Mineo and KB and all these other acts started to come out, and it just it made CHH more interesting. And now the landscape of where CHH is now is just so crazy. I never thought I'd be listening to CHH as much as I have been, because I up until this point, I was always listening to, you know, music that made me, you know, I was listening to music that wasn't necessarily anything that like related to my life, but I liked the music. You know, I'm a LimeWire baby. I grew up in the school of Eminem, you know, and hearing every single thing that he put out. So I mean, you know, now I'm gonna be honest, I kind of hardly listen to secular rap now because it's not really that much that's interesting. I'm gonna keep it real with you. It's just, like I said, it's a lot of copy and paste. And, you know, relatability is more something that I am in the school of right now, and I can relate to a lot of things that some of these CHH artists talk about because it hit my soul different when they talk about things that I be going through, you know? That, you know, what used to turn me off about CHH was like a lot of like preachiness, but a lot of artists have like really like shied away and pushed away from like doing that and just make it more about like relatability, more about life trials that you have going on and whatnot. So that is my story of how I, you know, started listening to CHH, and I'm still listening to CHH now. I haven't even been following this Andrew Tate thing, but or what he got locked up for or anything like that. So it says Andrew Tate, frame job exposed, verified messages have been leaked, and it clearly shows that the women plan to frame the Tates. They manipulated the Tates into believing they love them and framed them by involving the embassy shortly after arriving. This case is over. Oh boy, okay. Wow, this is a lot of stuff. Whoa. Talk about receipts. Look at this. Oh my goodness, look at all of this. Man. Now, I kind of want to know, after all of this is out here now, what can one say after making all, like, I've seen so many videos on why he's an evil man and why he's this and why he's that. One would like to ask, one would like to know, if all these receipts are here, what will all those people who have been making videos defaming his name say about all this? Because this, like, I don't even know the stipulations or documents pertaining this case, but like, I would like to generally know. Cause like when I heard that, like he went to jail or whatever, how he went to jail, excuse me. I still couldn't make sense of it. And then when he started to like voice his opinion after he has been in jail this whole time, it still kind of didn't make sense, because I'm like, he was the one who pretty much said that, yeah, they're going to come after him. Yeah, I don't know. When people try to better themselves, I guess, or, you know, put out this message of bettering yourself, maybe, just maybe, it comes across as like a certain way, and that in turn turns into something else. I don't know. Or maybe just like the sudden coverage of him ever since he decided to start getting on the internet has been this thing that they've tried to use to target him. And I guess you know, they, whoever they are, have had made it a point to just continuously target him because they don't like the cliff notes of his message. So I don't know what this says. I don't know what this says about what the case may turn out to do for him. But, well, I mean, I think a lot of it has to just do with the things that he says on the internet that people may not like, or it's maybe the way he says it that people don't like, and that in turn makes him out to be a target. I don't know, but that's just what I think on it. And maybe this poses as something that frees both him and his brother, and then they can like finally speak their piece on the platform they're able to speak it upon. You know, Hollywood just continues to just regurgitate and regurgitate and regurgitate and regurgitate. It's like it's almost like no room for originality anymore. If I see another remake of something, I'm literally going to just stop watching television and movies altogether. Probably. I don't know. Maybe. I think I'm lying there. I might be lying. But yet again, another remake is upon us. Barney has been put in the, how do you say, regurgitation of things, right? And like I said, it's quite funny to me that we're even sitting here in today's day and age saying that Barney is coming back. Why can't you just go create something new for this new generation of kids? That's what y'all did to us. That's what you did to my generation of kids. You just went and created something new. You didn't regurgitate and remake stuff for kids. Like, and now these new children get to know who Barney is. I mean, there was a lot. There's so many things connected to Barney, like the creator of Barney. Like there's such a dark like undertone to the Barney I grew up watching that I didn't even know, which is like crazy. Like from the guy who played Barney and how whatever traumatic experiences that he had to the creator of Barney. Like there's so many dark ties. I've been meaning to watch there's like a documentary that they put out, honestly detailing a lot of things that happened with the not even just the character, but everything connected to Barney. But just continuing on, like I hate remakes, and it's just like it hopefully it just gets shelved. Like I said, like look at Barney, bro. Like look at this remake of Barney. First of all, he's animated. Like what? Like what we got going on here? Barney's animated, first of all. Secondly, Barney looks like Spyro. Barney looks like Spyro from a video game. Like I literally hope this thing gets shelved. That's just my thing about it. I don't want this to go through. I really don't want it to go through. But, you know, let me just read the information on it. It says Barney and the Purple Dinosaur undergoes animated makeover for reboot. In creating the new series, it was important to us that we properly reflect the world that kids today live in so that the series can deliver meaningful lessons about navigating it, said Fred Soule, Senior Vice President and General Manager of Mattel Television. In a statement, with our modern take on Barney, we hope to inspire the next generation to listen, care, and dream big. We think that parents, many of whom will fondly remember the original Barney from their own childhoods, will love the show too. Yeah. You're just ruining everything that I love. Ruining everything I love. What's next? What's next? You guys gonna bring back Reading Rainbow too? Huh? Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, huh? What else can Hollywood just like ruin? Like, I want to know. Like, seriously, like just stop it. Knock it off. Stop it already. Please stop remaking. Stop rebooting stuff. Leave it where it is. All right. We are going to be looking at a curious case of triflingism, if you will. We're just going to take a look at it, and then I'm going to give my thoughts right after.
Now, help me make sense of this. You give her $1,000 a month for the children.
Okay.
You pay health insurance.
Okay.
You all have a split schedule.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm missing something. Like, what is the
Why
issue?
why are y'all
we
even in
here?
court?
Because I would think that you bring someone to child support court if they're not doing something. I do understand making it legal, putting it in a document, but you're asking for more money. So I'm trying to get the disconnect here.
So what it is, Your Honor,
women he's spending money on.
she never lets me talk. So
Okay, I'm gonna let you talk.
Exactly.
Okay.
what it is, Your Honor, she's she didn't mention this, but she's engaged,
All right.
and she just found out that I'm recently dating. So now she's mad at me.
Oh, I'm mad.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. That's funny. That's funny. Nah, that's funny.
Bang,
That's funny.
Bang.
That's
bang,
funny.
bang.
That's funny. Dang, man. My boy dropped the ball. My boy dropped the, you know what I'm saying? Dropped a truth bomb just now. Oh my goodness. So she's mad that he's out here trying to find him a mate, and y'all just co-parenting. That's crazy. Wow. Jealousy. Hate to see it.
There goes the
Very big.
conflict.
I'm not mad. I'm not mad.
There goes the conflict.
I'm
Now,
not
I
mad.
asked
Okay.
what was the disconnect here. It was something missing. So you brought him to court because he has a new girlfriend?
No, ma'am, I'm not
That's
mad
exactly
about
why, Your Honor.
And you're engaged.
Yes, ma'am.
He's still gonna want to marry you after he see what you're doing to this man?
Oh no.
He's on my side about this.
Of course he is.
So he agrees that he should be paying more than
Yes.
$1,000 a month
Yes,
in
like
child
I said,
support.
he has other women that he's pretty much
What does
tricking
his
money
other
on.
women have to do with
'Cause
anything?
he's spending.
What that got to do with you? What that got to be? What that got to do with you? He paying child support. He doing everything he's supposed to do as a father. Like, what that got to do with you? That's funny. That's funny, man. It's some evil women in this world, man. Not every one of them, but it's a lot of them. It's a lot of them that are like this.
Quite frankly, you shouldn't care. You have a whole nother man that you should be
Hello.
worried about, and you over
understand
here
that.
all in his business.
Hello.
I'm not trying to be in
He
his
doesn't
business.
even
You
work
are
here.
trying to be in his business because you have mentioned it twice that he has other women. His other women has nothing to do with this case. So
really
you
does,
just pipe
Your Honor.
down
It really
and stop
does.
bringing that up. It has nothing to do with
Okay.
it. Well, let me
The judge got her foot on her neck, like for real though, like you ain't got no room to stand on ground, like come on now.
say
really
it
does.
like this. It is not going to have an impact on my decision today.
Okay.
Okay? Thank you. Now, so you have a new girlfriend
Okay.
and she's in her feelings about it.
Right?
Okay?
She always try to come by to see if she's there. If she sees us out, she always try
Jealousy.
to come make a hostile environment.
Did your fiance come to court today?
Okay.
Ooh, man. I don't know who this judge is, but yeah. She might be my new favorite judge because She told that lady off. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, that's absolutely positively petty to bring somebody to court and try to up their child support to more because you jealous that person is not with you and with somebody else. How he's I'm trying to figure out, like, if he was okay with you getting married and y'all still co-parenting and now he want to go find somebody. I don't know, bro. I don't know. This new world full of new women is just, I don't know, man. This new generation of women. I don't know, bro. So if you didn't know, No Jumper has been going through some as of late tension and turmoil and people leaving the No Jumper platform to go start their own thing. Amidst the whole thing with Adam 22 and House Phone throwing a drink on Adam 22 during a podcast episode, and even more than that, coming to find out that House Phone actually slept with Adam 22's now girlfriend slash soon to be wife, Lena the Plug. And it's just like, it's a very hostile environment over at No Jumper as far as things are going. So in this video, we're going to be checking out it's going to be the title says House Phone and Blasey start new podcast reconnected after leaving No Jumper. So let's just see what this is about.
What's poppin', everybody? Back with another video. So in this video, we got to talk about No Jumper, Adam 22, and the whole No Jumper crew. So apparently it's official. House Phone's done with No Jumper. If you don't know, Blasey quit. Yuri's still there, but they decided to start their own podcast. They're branching off. They're doing their own thing. So Pot Lord, Yuri, Blasey, House Phone, they all jumped on Instagram and posted the big announcement that they're dropping Reconnected, not Disconnected, Reconnected, their new podcast. First episode's dropping Thursday at 6 p.m.
And I think this whole thing of Adam 22 and House Phone stemmed, of course, from it being the whole thing with House Phone and Adam 22 basically having a trans guest on the show that was allegedly involved with House Phone, and they just, you know, the trans person kept saying House Phone's name, and it's just messed up that Adam 22 couldn't just go over that interview he had did with that trans person and really comb through that whole entire video instead of leaving it to just the editors, whoever the editors are, and allowing that to make it out, and just making somebody who was a day one No Jumper creative, allowing there to be a narrative and perception put on House Phone that, hey, this happened. Like, you allowed that guest to say those things about somebody who's supposed to be your friend. It's really low, honestly. It's just like I said when Adam 22 went and did the Joe Budden podcast. They do, like, No Jumper is literally like Jerry Springer in podcast form. It's like, yeah, I ain't gonna lie, they do have interesting interviews, but like, I feel like somebody like Adam 22, regardless of what anybody wants to say, like, the perception that is given out that, like, you know, it just looks like he likes controversy and chaos more than he likes to, like, do just regular interviews, you know, with artists and BMX bikers and even corn stars, you know. it's the chaos that creates clicks and drives the program of No Jumper. And as far as perception goes, that's just me being on the outside looking in. I mean, if there's something else, then they're not. If there's another thing that attracts anybody to No Jumper and makes them watch the interviews, then I'd be remiss to get the argument on that one. But for the most part, it's just a lot of BS, a lot of controversy to create clicks. I feel like a lot of times. And yeah.
They're telling people subscribe. They put the link below. The YouTube channel is called The Biggest Bros. Yeah, so make sure you check out The Biggest Bros Entertainment.
The Biggest Bros
Their
Entertainment.
subscriber count went crazy. Like they just posted
They're already up to
maybe like in 2 hours. Like in 2 hours
bro.
they got 4,000 subscribers. That's crazy.
Wow.
So, and it's probably even that's just right now at the date and time of this video. By the time you guys like hear this or see this, they might be at 5K, 6K.
Let me go look at it real quick. Let me go look at what their subscriber count is. Just go give it a look see. Biggest Bros Entertainment. I don't even see nothing here. What happened? Yeah, there's no. It's not here. Another thing I'm wondering. This reminds me of when Rory and Mal left the Joe Budden podcast, and after they left the podcast, Joe Budden said, if Rory and Mal start a podcast, I'm going to sue them because they're in the breach of their contract. I wonder, would somebody like Adam22 sue former creatives? Would he sue former creatives? I wonder because, it's, I don't know. I mean, it's good that they they trying to come together and do another, it's good. Matter of fact, it's even better for I think that they just basically standing their ground and sticking up, and supporting their homie House Phone, which I really think that's the reason why Blasey left. And, I think even though Yuri's still there at No Jumper, I feel like, at some point Yuri's gonna leave himself. And then, oh my goodness, the whole drama with Pot Lord, bro. The drama with Pot Lord, man. Pot Lord ain't going for it. Pot Lord has been vocal since that House Phone stuff happened, and I think he got fired. I think House Phone decided he wanted to just leave on his own because there was just so much tension. And then Blasey was like, well, that's my homeboy. I like Adam, but also, House Phone is my homeboy, and I don't like the way things went with that. So it's like mutually, for his own benefit, he was just like, yeah, I'm gracefully bowing out from this place. So it'll be interesting to see what goes on with this new podcast.
A very good start, but not without controversy, because we know this whole thing stems from the big
the drink throwing,
doing House Phone dirty. He later apologized for not deleting a clip that exposed House Phone, and then the whole situation about Destiny and the back and forth he had with Destiny.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Just, the whole No Jumper drama.
So much.
Yeah, so I kind of been lurking in the Reddit, the No Jumper Reddit group, and it's been a lot of people saying a lot of things about this new podcast, Reconnected, and some of it's been super positive, where they're like cheering Blasey on, they're cheering and rooting for House Phone. Me personally, I'm definitely rooting for House Phone, because
I want to see them do good too.
Of No Jumper, so it's good that he's kind of like branching out, doing his own thing. I feel like he handled the situation pretty good with Adam 22. He handled it way better than most people would. But, you know, with every big major move, you're going to have people hating, people commenting. You're going to have the positive and the negative.
I think minus the drink throwing thing. I mean, I don't think something like what happened with House Phone. I don't think the thing that happened with House Phone, I don't think that should have been on camera. I think, excuse me. I think like Adam 22, you know, should have just really just, like I said, just combed through that whole entire interview and took out anything that had to do with bro, you know. If that's your homie, like you say that's your homie, like you don't do your friends like that, dog. Like in any capacity or any light, man. If that was me, that video wouldn't have seen no light of day if no light of day if there was still stuff in it that could, like, you know, damage my homeboy's reputation.
That they don't think House Phone's going to even show up to the first episode. They don't think House Phone has the capacity to stay consistent enough to make this Biggest Bros podcast Reconnected a actual thing where it's flourishing, because they're starting from the ground up. You know, they start from 0 subscribers to around 5K, and now, you know, they don't have the No Jumper stamp. It's kind of like their own thing. And of course,
yeah, but I mean,
gradually, and so they have.
I still feel like they can get the amount of subscribers they want. They just got to be consistent. I mean, yeah, it is. One might lean on maybe House Phone. I feel like this is a new beginning for House Phone, bro. This is a way to just start all over and make, build a brand new building, man. Make y'all's own podcast studio, Make y'all's own podcast studio. Turn this brand into something huge that could like rival No Jumper. Like look at Rory and Maul. Most people didn't think that they could rejuvenate after Joe Budden, but they did. Regardless of what anybody wants to say, oh, the podcast is boring, this and that. Well, guess what? People are listening. So that's all that matters. They got people listening. They got their own Reddit. They got their own whatever they want to do. And they tour. Even with people who still love Joe Budden's podcast, hating, talking about, oh, Rory and Maul are boring. Rory and Maul are this. But, bro, they still managed to find a way to jump back, to get back after all of that stuff that went on. And I feel like these 4 cats can do that. Like, mainly House Phone. I feel like all of them could do that. They just need to be, like, hella consistent. You know what I'm saying?
But it's one of those things where they're going to have to be really consistent with the content.
Exactly.
So some people think House Phone can't be consistent because they're saying, well, he wasn't consistent on No Jumper, and they were getting hundreds of 300,000 views, 400,000.
He just need the right amount of.
Soon. They haven't even dropped the first episode yet.
Exactly.
And people already saying count House Phone out. House Phone's the underdog.
They just need.
House Phone's been going through it, man. I feel like House Phone is focused.
Yeah.
Consistent.
If he's focused and he has a principle,
making a bunch of money.
Bro, he could do it.
A whole new podcast.
Bro, he could do it. House Phone could do it. I believe in him, man.
Like look, I believe in him. The money's going to come. It's about the content, staying consistent, and being engaging, entertaining.
Exactly.
Like all that stuff matters. Like then the money comes in after that. House Phone, he's got fans. Blasey got fans. People like Urius, people that like Pot Lord. So I feel like they got a good thing going, man.
This'll work.
Got to stay consistent. Yeah. So let's read some of these Reddit comments. All right, so this one says, House Phone finna miss the first episode. You know he is.
Oh my goodness. People already counting bro out.
Hopefully they put a lot more effort into this than disconnected and focus more on the fashion. That got a lot of upvotes. And then this person said the first episode for not having any balls.
That's funny. No, that's hilarious.
I'm telling you, man. You gotta see in the No Jumper Reddit.
That's funny.
I gotta see the No Jumper subreddit.
That is hilarious, bro.
Know damn well House Phone ain't gonna show up. Then this person is loving the idea, saying yesterday's price is not today's price. And then the next person said the price went up.
Yeah.
Trap Mom said, let's go, the real ones. This person said I called it out first. Let's go. Best pod name in the game so far. Didn't even start. Fire. So this person said Yuri is going to get caught up in some drama. Can't play both sides.
Yeah. See. No. Y'all see what I said though. Y'all see what I just said. Y'all see what I just said earlier. Yuri's gonna eventually leave No Jumper. I feel like Yuri's gonna leave No Jumper eventually. Yuri got his own YouTube channel. I feel like he'll be able to stand on his own too. And this will signify this right here will signify whether he can like really transition, is if he can be his own man and decide like, hey, you know what, I don't want to be in no drama or nothing like that, so I'm just gonna leave.
Haters already. Laughing emoji. Y'all be wishing bad on too quick. Big Chill says Yuri again being two-faced. Can't even commit to a platform. Man,
dang, these no jumper fans is crazy.
I don't think I ever commented. I just lurked. So this person says this is what I'm talking about. Them being their own boss, making their own rules.
Exactly. That's how I feel.
I would change the logo if I was them. LeVar Ball might feel some type of way. LOL. Nah. I see what this person's talking about, but I feel like they can keep the logo. I feel like they can keep the logo. LeVar Ball's gonna have to chill. Yeah, this person made a whole thread and said, this is what I'm talking about. Real unity. The game made their own channel.
True.
6 months from now, they're going to be big. So, yeah, that's what I was saying previously in the video. I'm saying I see it's a lot of potential here, you know? It's also funny people saying Yuri is, like, playing both sides because he's still on No Jumper, but he's going to be on Reconnected. And they're like, some people even, like, was saying in the Reddit that, like, Yuri might be a spy or mole for Adam, and like,
I mean, if Adam don't got no problem with him going over there and then still coming over to No Jumper, I mean, why are we so worried about it? I mean, if Adam wanted to fire Yuri, he would have did it, right? Adam's his own man. I mean, not Adam. Yuri's his own man. He can leave when he's ready, or stay if he wants to. I mean, I'm sure the door is open for Yuri to leave if he wants to. I don't know why people are making this such a precise deal. Oh, he's switching sides. No, bro. Like, he's playing both sides. No, I don't even remotely think it's that. But at the same time, two people did quit and get fired, and no, I'm sorry. 3 people did. 2 left on their own. 1 got fired. I mean, it only makes sense. So I see what they're saying though.
He's running to Adam, telling him stuff. All type of conspiracy theory. So you got to think about the Joe Budden podcast. They lost Rory and Maul. They went on to do their own thing.
True.
And then you had
just like I said.
And Joe Budden podcast is doing great, but Rory and Maul is doing pretty good too.
See, so that's what I said.
Everybody's flourishing and doing things their own way. It's basically, making moves and how you want to run your business. Because some of the realest people are on No Jumper, and they, they're still there. AD's still there. T-Rail's still there.
And the funny part about all that is that most of the people on No Jumper have their own platform already. Like, T-Rail has his own platform. AD has his own platform. I think what's his name? What's that guy's name on Sledge Lords or whatever? I think he has his own platform too, outside of No Jumper. It's like most of the people on No Jumper have their own platform outside of No Jumper. So it's like, I think most of them just smarten up to the fact that, like, hey, there's a way for me to have my own platform, and Adam 22 allows them to have that, and it's better to go that way because, like, situations like this may occur where people quit or get fired. So when they quit or get fired, they still have a platform that they could, like, jump to if things like this ever happen, instead of it just being, I didn't have a platform, so I'm losing out. Let me go find another company to work for where I can just be a a third mic or a B mic or something like that. No. I think everybody should have learned from the situation of Rory and Mal, in which Rory and Mal, when they were still on the Joe Budden podcast, I think at some point like just right after they broke up, it was that episode where Joe Budden, they weren't there, Rory and Mal weren't there, and Joe Budden was there, and he basically fired them. And he said something along the lines of like, he had told them to start their own platform, because they were asking for money from the YouTube. And he told them, hey, no, I'm not going to give y'all money from the YouTube. I don't even make any money from the YouTube. Why don't y'all just start your own thing on the side? So that way you can still have your own stuff and we'll be promoting your stuff, but you still come here and work. Basically the same thing with No Jumper. You can start your own thing. You still come here. And I mean, I don't think Adam 22 is promoting their platforms outside of No Jumper, but I think everybody should have learned from the Rory and Mal situation. And I feel like a lot of the creatives who work at No Jumper did look at that and then say like, you know what, I am my own man outside of this platform,
At some points, Poetic Flacco is like got No Jumper on his back sometimes, because he's giving a new perspective and also providing like entertainment, and so it's like everybody has value. It's just how much are you willing to sacrifice and how hard are you willing to grind to get to that goal? Because like you might not be getting results as fast as you want.
Facts.
Doesn't mean the results aren't coming.
Facts.
And then some people were saying in the Reddit that like people are just subscribing to their channel because they want to hear what House Phone and Blasey have to say about.
Oh yeah, well, I mean,
and then
people like Mess.
After a couple months, then they're gonna leave. And
people like
they're
Mess.
not gonna have any like viewership. But
people like Mess though, bro.
Realize that House Phone, Blasey, they got their own brands, and then some people are saying like Adam 22 is punching the air right now because
I don't know about that.
Went out and started their own thing.
I don't know about that.
Because I honestly think.
I don't know about that because I feel like Adam 22, and this is going to sound crazy as hell, but I think Adam 22 can replace every single person that's on. Like, I feel like everybody is expendable on the No Jumper platform. He can like literally hire new people like the snap of a finger, I feel like. But he's kept the people that have been with him for this long because they've been loyal to him, regardless of like, whatever disagreements or fights or whatever. Most of these people who are on the No Jumper platform right now have proved their worth to him or are just have a good work ethic,
Adam, at the end of the day, is more invested in the Keep It 100. I honestly think he's more invested in Plug Talk. I just feel like he has more fun doing the Plug Talk stuff with his wife. They're having a blast over there. They're having a blast with Plug Talk. So I just don't see him losing sleep over this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
A lot of times it seems like he's more invested in Sledge Lords too. So it's like,
yeah, that's true. That's true.
I just don't think he cares.
That's true.
I feel like he cares a little bit, but not to the extent where he's.
Yeah, he cares like maybe
Reconnected is coming 10,
20%.
He's definitely gonna be watching though. He's definitely gonna watch.
I'm sure he. I'm sure he is too.
He's gonna be watching and seeing like, okay, what's House Phone and Blasey gonna say about?
Ooh, they.
I don't really think
he probably gonna say they're
doing numbers over at No Jumper. It's not like No Jumper fell off.
Pot Lord and House Phone probably about to say some crazy stuff.
In the air about what is he mad about?
They about to say some crazy stuff. I know that. I feel like that much is true to be said.
From like all the office drama.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't think he really cares. Now, do I think jealousy will seep in if Reconnected is super successful? Yeah.
I don't know about that.
I feel like that's just.
I don't know about that.
Nature, and I feel like we as humans try to reject that and act like we don't get jealous or we don't.
I don't know about the jealousy part.
Yeah, from a competitor standpoint, I feel like if their numbers would like start going through the roof, Adam be looking like, damn, they doing that, damn, they doing this. But I feel like he does that with academics a lot. I feel like
Yeah, true.
Adam 22 and
True.
academics are like friends, but they're enemies just based on competition.
It just be that'd be weird.
But it's still a friendly nature to it, so it's not like it's
every like 5 months DJ Academics and Adam 22 beef for no reason.
But it's still no bad blood or nothing. Like they'll hop on a Discord call and they'll
they have a weird relationship. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. So before I get out of here, I just want to remind people, definitely subscribe to the Biggest Bros Entertainment channel.
Anyway, man, my final verdict on that is that yeah, salute to all these guys coming together and deciding to like make a platform. I do feel like separately, besides like maybe Yuri and Blasey, I feel like House Phone and Pot Lord. I think Pot Lord has his own platform. I think House Phone for real needs to like, legit have his own YouTube, have his own, branding, have his own little podcast or whatever, because like, it could be just like when, that way you can have something where y'all come together as a group, and then, individually y'all all have y'all's own little solo efforts or whatever that make it unique, instead of it just being, everybody comes for one podcast. No. It works better when everybody's eating individually and as a group together. So I am anxious to see what's going to happen with Reconnected and their YouTube channel group. What is it, Big Brother or whatever? I'm gonna be watching. Last but not least, before I close out this podcast, there has been a trend going around for ways to steal Kias and Hondas using USB cables. So if I can, I'll just read this part of the post. It says, Hyundai and Kia release software updates for millions of car owners in an effort to combat a viral TikTok challenge linked to a rash of stolen cars, fender benders, and more than a dozen fatalities in the U.S. So as you can see from the picture, all they got to do is take a regular, ordinary USB cord, stick it in the ignition, and turn it on. That is crazy. Sometimes when I hear things that trend on TikTok, I do kind of like wonder. I do kind of like get now why they want to try to ban TikTok. Honestly, I mean, it went from being a app for children to people being able to do things like this. This is horrible. This is exposing a lot. I'm just gonna play this video really quickly.
Police are warning about a TikTok trend showing how criminals can use a USB cable.
You guys be careful out here. I didn't know about the trend stealing Hyundais and Kias. This is my 2022 Hyundai Sonata that has been parked in my driveway this whole entire time. Somebody tried to break into it, obviously trying to use the USB method, which they were unsuccessful, if I can point that out. My car is still here. They caused a bunch of damage.
Bruh. Oh my goodness. Bro. Nah, they tripping.
My steering wheel doesn't lock in anymore.
Nah, they tripping. They tripping.
And I don't live in a bad neighborhood at all.
They tripping.
Highway patrol is right down the street from my house.
What?
You guys be careful, because I did not think that this would happen to me.
You know what this reminds me of, though? It reminds me of when, what is it? Chevy had like this recall on a bunch of cars. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Hold on. Because I remember Chevy had like a recall, or not even Chevy, it was GM. GM had a recall on a bunch of cars because like they had like this big fat lawsuit because they there was a bunch of, I gotta find the art. I gotta find it real quick because I used to have a Chevy Cobalt, and Chevy Cobalt was one of the things that got recalled. So y'all just give me a second here, real quickly, because there was something that happened with GM. So y'all just give me a second, real quick. Okay. So I remember, yeah, Chevy did a recall on they recently did a recall. Wow. They recently did a recall for bolts, but I remember they did a recall for cobalts, in which something had happened to where people had suffered fatalities because of the steering wheel. And there was a big law. I believe there was a big lawsuit on it because they had allowed they had allowed something that happened. They had allowed a malfunction in the Cobalt to just go out, and they didn't think to I believe assess the situation and basically do a recall earlier. It was I believe it was the 2008 Cobalts that they had recalled or whatever. Yeah, they got a big fat lawsuit. And yeah, the article's right here. They had gotten a big fat lawsuit because it says that General Motors knew in 2004, a decade before it issued a recall, that its Chevrolet Cobalt had an ignition switch that could inadvertently shut off the engine while driving. According to depositions in a civil lawsuit against GM, the stall also would cut off the driver's power steering and brakes, as well as safety systems such as airbags and anti-lock brakes. At least one GM engineer had the problem while testing the new car, which went on sale in 2004 as a 2005 model. Say documents obtained by USA Today from the lawsuit over a crash that unalived a pediatric nurse. She was unalived in 2010 on her 29th birthday in the Cobalt she bought new in 2005, which is crazy. So yeah, they had a whole lawsuit. That reminds me of that because I had a Cobalt and they were doing the recalls around that time and basically telling people, hey, your car has this problem. You have to go get it fixed at a Chevy dealership. So this reminds me of that. Technology is so different nowadays. Hopefully Hyundai and Kia get this problem squared away fast and in a hurry before a pending lawsuit goes awry. And I feel like honestly, if TikTok can't monitor this better, then I can see why the lawmakers in the United States want this app gone. If they're allowing things like this to be on their platform, and honest, hardworking people are gonna be losing losing the automobiles that they work so hard to pay for all the time because of trends that are allowed to be on the TikTok platform. It's crazy.